We're now bringing the jury, whom I hope is in order tonight. Bobby, Kid, Tux, Mischievous, Miles, BJ, Mark, DYM, and Sir voted out at the last tribal council. So, tonight's going to be a bit of a different tribal council, obviously. The jury will get their time to come up here and talk to you guys. They will ask you questions, make a speech, etc. to you guys, and responding in whatever the best way it is to them to convince them as to why they deserve your vote, or they should vote for you, is what you're going to be planning to do tonight. Tonight, the jury is voting for a winner. So you want to see your name tonight. Now, I will give you guys a few just moments just to collect yourselves, and the final three, you will first give your opening statement, then we'll go on to the jury, and then we'll go on to closing statements. Okay, so, A-Rod, if you want to take a moment, then make your opening statement.
Okay. So, playing this game with all of you was an honor. I mean, I don't think I had any beef with anyone. I know Miles was pretty upset, but I don't know if that was at me or at this guy right there. Yeah, but I think you guys should vote for me, because I think I've played a good game. I think I was very good in the social aspect of it. I don't know, I just feel like I didn't make a bad play to get here. And I hope you guys see the same.
Alright, Sugar, you're next.
Alright, hey guys, I'm going to sound a little like a parrot here, but just want to say thank you guys for a great game, and no matter what happens tonight, I had an amazing time. That being said, I like to think that I also played a great game, and just genuinely deserve to win by itself. Obviously, I'll start with my strategical side. I was in the majority for the majority of the game. The only times I wasn't voting the right way was when BJ and Kid were voting out, but that itself was an idea of mine, to have somebody who was a bigger threat always there. Then they go for me instead. I mean, obviously Kid was playing aggressively, but any decision Kid made, I was right with him. Just same with BJ. BJ was playing a great social game. Any decision he made, I made with him. And you know, even socially, I got along with quite a few of you decently well. Obviously some more than others. Made a few of you laugh, that type of stuff. And physically, there's only really one person who did well in the physical side. That was A-Rod, but I don't think I really ever struggled with any physical side pre-merge or post-merge. Won myself my fair share of immunities, and I just hope you take that into consideration when you are casting your vote tonight.
And Sam.
Alright, well, I'm gonna parrot as well, but yeah, thank you all for, playing this game. It's been real fun, honestly. One of the most fun experiences in a while, so... Yeah, but anyway, focusing on my game, I stated in my application that I wanted to play a very similar game to that of Natalie Anderson, and that I wanted to play hard and be able to control the game while not being the clear, obvious threat. And to be honest, I think I accomplished that very well. Starting from day one, I was on a tribe where, clearly I was not in the majority. I was in the very minority with, just Per, pretty much. And, yeah, then he got voted out first. That was my closest ally and friend in the game. Voted out first, so I thought my game at that point was over. And had I not made what I think is probably one of the most crucial moves of the game, I definitely would have gone home either third or fourth. Yeah, I managed to convince Bobby to help me idle out Keoki, and I genuinely believe that if I had not done that, then the game would have been entirely different, and I think the Ambition Alliance would have managed to dominate the game, especially after the merge. Yeah, throughout the tri-spot and merge, I also managed to talk my way into various groups and alliances, and the people who I wanted to go home went home. I was on the correct side of every vote, barring Perth, of course, and I think every person who went home for a good reason to further my own game, and I'm happy to sit here and explain every vote should I have to. So yeah, and also, as well as being on the correct side of every vote, both the idols I played correctly. The person who was going to be voted out, I saved. First being Mark, of course, and then myself going into Final 5. So, I feel like I controlled the game from the moment that Perp went home, and every move that I made was to make my own game go further. It made sense, and ultimately, it brought me here. So, yeah, I think I accomplished what I wanted to do very well, so we'll see. Thank you.
Alright, I'm going to give the jury a few moments to gather themselves, and I will head over here
Sorry.
to find out. I will step over here so that I can get the best shot of that. So, I'll give you guys a few more moments to compose yourself, figure out what you want to say.
If I do cough, I do apologize, by the way.
Little bitch.
Alright, Mischievous, you go first.
Alright, first of all, I just want to say congratulations to Sam and Sugar for making this way. It was a great game and it was an honor to play with everyone. My first question is to Sam. I have a question about what you claim to be your biggest and best move in the game, which was the second vote and using your idol to vote out Kyoki owner.
Yep.
From my perspective, I see it as a very short-term vote, as in the long term you could have saved that idol to work with Bobby and vote out someone in the Ambition Alliance, but use the idol on yourself to save yourself rather than Mark. So my question is, do you think that that move, which you claim to be your biggest move, was in fact the best possible play with the idol, or do you think that possibly could have been more well thought out? And if you do think it was the correct play, why do you think it was?
Right. I do think that it was the correct play. I think it was the best move I could have made, because at the time, obviously, I was very much in the minority. It was basically just myself and Mark at that point, with, I think, Tux being the sort of swing vote. He was in the middle. But, yeah, using the idol to save Mark. He had no idea about the plan, by the way, but yeah, using the idol to save Mark at that point, and then voting out Kyoki, obviously, it lowered your numbers, as well as then making Mark pretty much owe me for the rest of the game, because the only reason he stayed in the game was because of me, and yeah, he continued to be my ally throughout the rest of the tribe, like, stage, and then also into the merge. So, yeah, I think was definitely the best move I could have made at that point.
Alright, thanks. My next question is for Sugar.
Hey.
You played a good game as well as Sam. I think you both had similar yet opposite gameplays in terms of presenting yourself as either the center of attention, almost at times being the second most center of attention, sort of behind Kid and BJ. I want you to tell me what you believe was the best move made in the game that was not made by yourself.
Okay. I would say it was when you flipped Sam and I can't remember who else it was to take out Kid, because at that moment we went down to 9, and if Kid was still in the game, Tux would have gone, and then that would have just left a chain reaction, which me, BJ, and Kid probably would have gone to the final 3 together in theory. I think we probably would have got final 7 then and there.
Just a quick thing, Mish. You also had, or made me decide to flip one Kid.
That's well.
Yeah. Yeah, Kid played really aggressive, and it was incredibly obvious. It was a plan to get Kid out eventually, but you like really put it out there, and
Yeah. You made it very clear he was the threat.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's all I have. Thanks, guys.
This is fun.
Sir, you're up next.
Alright, what's really good? I got one quick question for Sam and A-Rod, and that's, if Squish and League did not drop out of the game, can you tell me what you thought the Final 4 would be, and the Final 3 would be if they were still here?
I'll go first. I really don't think they would have survived that long. I mean, you saw how the Ambition Alliance kind of went down. It's just a thing. They had numbers people are gonna play harder to get them out. Honestly, me and Sam might not even be here if they were still in the game, to be honest.
Do you think the Final Four would have been changed because of them being in the game overall?
Quite possibly. League especially, I think.
If they didn't get targeted, yeah, but I definitely feel like they would get targeted just because it was like everyone here knows each other pretty much, or know who's close to who. It's like, well, if there's 4 quote-unquote Harvard people, like, in the majority, then some people are going to go at them and try to make the others in the majority.
They were
yeah,
also... Sorry.
I think that made both me and Sam play harder to get here.
Definitely. The thing I was going to say is they were also 2 very big challenge threats, I think. So, either they would have been taken out like when they didn't have immunity, or they would have kept winning it, and yeah.
Alright,
Who knows
thank
what they
you.
could have done with that.
Alright. Bobby, you're up next.
Okay, I have a question for all 3 of you. We'll start with A-Rod.
Mhm.
A-Rod, if you had to choose any one of these members from the jury to be there sitting next to you instead of either Sam or Sugar, who would it be and why?
I think it'd probably be Tux. I'm just saying that because Tux was very unfortunate in this. He went to every single tribal, never won any sort of immunity, and just got taken out because there was an alliance, or people trying to save face and save an alliance for later. I think it would have been really cool to see him here, especially just like kind of like an underdog story. Like, he didn't win a single immunity, but he still made it to the final 3. I think that would have been cool to see, and I wouldn't be upset if he would have, or if that would have happened, he would have ended up winning. I'd be fine with that.
Okay. Sugar, same question to you.
No doubt in my mind it'd be BJ, for 2 reasons. Firstly, because from the start, me and BJ sort of clicked, and it was like one of those things where it's like if you sort of scratch my back, I'd scratch his. And the second reason is because he was the only other person apart from these 2 sat next to me that I had a final 3 deal with, and you know, he voted with me every time, so no doubt in my mind it'd be BJ. And I'd probably swap him out for Sam because I had a final 3 deal with BJ before I had it with Sam.
Okay, and Sam?
Alright, it would either be Mark or it would be you, Bobby, because you were both very early on my first kind of allies. Mark, I saved his game, like, second tribal, and yeah, we went on to go very far as an alliance together, and Bobby, you are basically the sole reason I'm in this game, so I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, I wanted to go further with you, but after you started asking some interesting questions about my idol, and I got pretty worried, so I'm sorry for that. But yeah, it would be either one of you.
Alright, thank you.
Alright, DYM, you're up.
What would you say has been your most strategical play throughout the entirety of the game?
Sam, you go first.
Alright. My most strategical play was, I think, quite clearly the very early idol out on Keoki. It flipped my whole tribe, like, on its side, and it basically put me into the majority, or it looked like I was going into the majority over the Ambition Alliance. I think it completely changed the game, and it definitely changed my game, even if it didn't change the rest of the outcome, which I do think eventually it did. Had Koki stayed in the game, I think Ambition would have definitely been able to dominate. So yeah, I'd say that was definitely one of my most strategic moves.
As for me, mine was actually very subtle and simple, and that was genuinely in the final deals that I made with people. I mean, to both the people stood next to me. Obviously, they both played decent games because they're here, but I was the one who went to both of them and said, let's make the final three. I also said that to BJ, but obviously BJ was voted out against me. By having these final deals, I always had numbers, and sure, those numbers against me only went ever against me twice in this game. But obviously, when I had these final deals, I knew I could rely on these people. So once I made that final free deal, which was originally me, BJ, and A-Rod, I want to say about before even Kid was voted off. Obviously, A-Rod always stuck with me. And then obviously I even had the final 5 deal with Sam, which obviously Sam stuck with me all the way to the end. You know, Sam had a very good opportunity to take me out at 6 when obviously he played his idol. And then obviously we made 3, and obviously from there you and Sir was picked off. So I'd definitely say it was the final deals that I made that got me here.
Alright, hi guys, it's been a little while. My question to you three, who aren't necessarily I expected to be sitting here, but you three, is why should the people beside you, just pick one of them, why should somebody else here deserve to win over you?
I would say probably Sam. Sam played extremely hard. He was was it you or Perp who did the math about being on almost the entire Ambition?
It was Perp that did it.
Yeah, it was like under a 1%.
Less than 1%. Yeah.
And then he was in the majority or in the minority for the most part of the game. And then even at the tribe swap, nothing really changed besides Scrib coming over. Scrib moving away from the Ambition people, and was it Kid and Sugar who came over?
Yeah.
And it was Aaron it was Tux and Scrib who came over to. Yeah, but he was at a disadvantage for most of the game, and it's cool that he's here, and I think he, if anyone besides me, I think he should win.
A-Rod was very social, obviously won most immunities, even if it was only one more. So that obviously if you want to look at that side of it, then he's definitely an obvious contender. As for Sam, Sam worked with me quite a lot. Me and Sam did a lot of stuff together. Anything that any one of the two of us, have credit for, arguably the other one should have credit for at the same time. I feel that, he played as good a game. He started out quite minority. He was on the minority, should I say. And he managed to get himself quite firmly in a good alliance, and, well, here he is.
Alright, I think Sugar got himself out of our situations quite a lot. I think he received probably the most votes out of the 3 of us, and I think out of the entire game. But yeah, he's still made it here, so he's clearly been through a lot and survived a lot. So yeah, I mean that kind of shows that he definitely deserves to be here. But A-Rod as well has played a great game. He's played a more passive game, I'd say. But yeah, I think that explains the games pretty well.
Alright, thanks guys, that's all I need.
Alright, Tux, are you ready?
I think so.
Alrighty.
Alright. Oh. Alrighty. So, I think you've all played a long and fair game. And now that everything's, come down to the wire, I don't think there's there's not much left for any of you in terms of actual game time and stuff. So, I think you all deserve to win in some regard, but I think each of you have about an equal chance. Although I don't know how the other jury members feel about that. I think their views might be a little bit different than mine, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I have a question for all of you, and that is, how is your overall attitude? Here, start with Sam. How is your overall attitude towards the game from the start of the game towards now? How has that changed throughout the game?
Okay, so day 1, it was pretty much me and Perp against the world. I thought we were pretty screwed. It looked like we were going to be screwed, especially when Perp left me and I was kind of just on my own. But once Bobby came to me, I was pretty positive, and after my move was pulled off, I basically changed the whole game around for me, and yeah, I was pretty positive from that point on. But like, again, I was still in the minority, even going through into the tribe swap, and then also at the beginning of the merge, I wasn't quite sure where I stood. So I was continually worried throughout the game. Like every tribal I went to, I had no sure idea of what was going to happen, and but yeah, it's definitely been an experience, and getting here is, yeah, I'm very thankful to all of these people, and these three especially, or these two, sorry.
Alright, sure.
And
what?
My mic is muted, that's what the problem is. Can you repeat the question for me again, sorry?
Alright, how has your attitude changed throughout the game from the start as to now? How do you feel about it?
Well, I definitely started this game a lot more positively. Between the first 8 that was originally on Twagger, I had a decent bond with all of them, had a lot of jokes with all of them, definitely was positive. And then the first swap happened, definitely was negative. I mean, it was 5 versus 2, and luckily me, Sam, Kid, and Mark came together and just was like, listen, we got to do something about this. And it was negative turned positive very quickly, and even happier when I hit the merge. I was overall quite positive, and I respect the fact that obviously the game didn't go entirely my way, and the only real time I thought I was in big danger was after Kid was voted out. I thought it was the next person, so that was the only time I think my attitude was in a bad place, but I actually think I had pretty positive attitude throughout the entire game, even as I'm sitting here now.
Alright, Nero?
Yeah, like Sugar said from the start, I felt like I was in a good position. I had 3 people who I talked to, like, regularly, being Squish, League, and Sir, in my tribe. And then I was even with Kid. Out of everyone here and everyone in the game, I've known Kid for the longest. And it was good talking to him again, getting on his good side with Sugar and BJ, and even Aaron. Like, no problem with Aaron. Aaron, I've teamed with him before in games, and I felt like I was in a good position all the way up till after the merge. I think around where it was like right after Mish got voted off is when I started to get really nervous, because I knew it was only a matter of time before me getting 0 votes all the way up to the night that I got 4 votes. I knew, like, sooner or later that would happen. Luckily, if I felt like it was going to happen, I had an idol, but I was still nervous after, because I didn't know going into Tribal half the time whether or not the people I trust would turn on me. But then, yeah, like, after getting 4 votes, it kind of simmered down back to where I wasn't as nervous as I was at that point, but it was always in the back of my mind. And then when it got down to Final 5, I felt like I had a really good shot of making it to Final 3. And it happened.
Alright. That'll be all.
Alright, thank you, Tux. Alright, next up, Kid.
Alright, well first off, congrats to you all.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
First question is actually to all of you. What's one promise that you kept and one promise that you broke? A-Rod, I'll start with you.
One promise that I kept was agreeing with Sugar to go to Final 3. And that also leads to the promise I broke. The Final 3 that I had been approached to was me, Sugar, and BJ. Unfortunately, it became obvious that BJ was a strong contender in this. And when given the option between either getting with a new majority or staying with him, I think it was the right move in going with the new majority and voting BJ out before we could get to this point. But I think that was a decision that bettered a lot of people's chances, and especially mine.
All right, thank you. You answered that perfectly. Sugar, what about you?
I can proudly say that I never broke a promise in this entire game.
Well, okay, I'm not voting for you anymore, because you just lied straight to my face.
Okay.
You just lied straight to my face.
I mean, if you want to tell me the promise, I'm happy to answer it.
I believe it was before first tribal, you, me, and BJ promised for Final 3.
There is only 3 people, sorry, no, you're right, 3 people that I promised this in this entire game. BJ, A-Rod, and Sam. I never promised, because I never would, because I knew from a very early time, I am not taking you to the end because you would have beaten me. I would have never promised you to the Final 3 for the simple reason that you would have beaten me. And I'm 100% sure that I never promised you that.
User joined your channel.
Alright. What's one promise you kept?
One promise I kept, like I say, and you know, BJ's vote wasn't really my choice, so I would have kept that to BJ. Obviously A-Rod was Final 3. You know, kept that price, and even Sam was Final 5 and Final 3, so they're the promises I kept.
Alright, Sam, what about you?
Okay, yeah, like Sugar just said, the promises I kept were to take Sugar to Final 5 and then further on to Final 3. The promise that I broke was Bobby. I regret voting him out like as early as I did. I wanted to go further with him. However, I think at the time it was probably the right move to further my own game and and prevent, you know, bad things from happening to myself. So.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah.
A-Rod, this one's just for you.
Yeah.
What is one decision that you made completely on your own, you came up with, and it worked?
Completely on my own and it worked. Honestly, I think I was the one pushing for Bobby to get voted out first. Cause like you were playing a really like strong straightforward, hey, I'm in the majority, you're next. I feel like Bobby, if given the chance, would have done the same exact thing, but maybe not as like straightforward as you. I feel like he would be more on the like down low, doing all kinds of different deals and making promises and breaking them. But I think eliminating Bobby early was a good idea, just because of how strong of a player he is. And I kind of hope that doesn't affect the way he votes on this.
Alright, I think I have all the information I need. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, kid. Alright, Miles, you're next.
Alright, Jerry, grab your fucking popcorn, let's go. If Karaoke Owner was here right now, he would have said he played a better game than all of you guys. However, since he's not here on this evening, I am here to say that Karaoke Owner has played a better game than all of you. And if he was in the Final 3, he'd get my vote. However, that is not the case, so I have to vote for one of you guys, sadly. This is a terrible Final 3. I would not vote for any of you guys if there's any other option. Let's start with you, Sam.
Alright.
I think you played a very deceptive and conniving game. So deceptive that I'm not giving you my vote simply for that reason. You went too much behind people's backs, and I can't respect that in giving you my vote.
Can I say something?
No, I don't want to say. Okay. I don't want to hear words from you guys. A-Rod, you really didn't do jack shit in this game. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, 2 immunities. Oh, that's so great. And to me, it seemed like you were Sam's lapdog this entire game, doing whatever he said. And for that, I'm not giving you my vote either. Sugar, I'm going to regretfully give you my vote, only for the case of that there is no better option. In this game, according to what I saw, you said that you were going to be, like, having people as shields. For me, that seems like you were just riding coattails. I honestly wish that there was another option for in the finale, because these are terrible options, and I would not vote for any of you guys if there's another choice. We have the coattail rider, the lapdog, and the conniving villain. That is all.
And you think Sam was making every decision and I followed blindly? You're honestly stupid if you believe that. I'm gonna be straight up with you.
Okay, no.
And the jury will be stupid to give you a jury vote.
I mean, I already knew I wasn't getting yours, so I'm not even gonna try to fight for it.
Oh, stupid then.
Okay, Mark, let's wrap this up. You're up.
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
So, I just have one simple question I want all three of you guys to answer. What is the most regrettable decision you've made the entire game? Starting with A-Rod.
Most regret?
Most regrettable.
Like I said earlier, voting out Tux to save face. Like, after Kid was voted out, I know both me and Sam flipped on him. Honestly, I flipped on him because of the whole thing to do with Aaron's idol and how that was handled. But voting out Tux was really just the only option to like save my own game. But I regret it because I definitely would have liked to see Tux go on farther. And yeah.
Alright. What about you, Sugar?
I would say probably Final 6, when I had to explain what the plan was to Sam, called a little red-handed. Definitely regretted putting his name down there, even if the intention wasn't to vote him out. I did feel bad that I still wrote his name down. Wasn't really what I wanted to do, but I guess the end goal of that wasn't really to vote him out as much as it was to go to Rocks, let's say.
Okay. What about you, Sam?
Alright, I think I've already covered this. I'd say my most regrettable move is voting Bobby out as early as I did. Even though I do think it was the right move for my own game at the time, I would have liked to just keep him in longer, purely because I just wanted to, you know, I'd get to play the game with him more, basically.
Okay. That's it from me.
Alright. Final 3. You may end with your closing statements, and then we'll get on to the votes. So, A-Rod, once again, any closing statements that you want to make? Final please, etc.
I feel like I played this game very under the radar. Me and Sugar were both voted for most forgettable. However, we're both here. We obviously had to do something to get here, regardless of how it was played. Just getting here gives you a chance to win. And I had to do that by any means necessary. And that's where I'm just gonna leave it.
Sugar?
I'm gonna start by saying I'd like to make a correction to one of my answers. Mischievous, when I told you that the final 3 would have been me, BJ, and Kid. That was wrong for me to say. It would have probably been me, BJ, and at the time I had the final 3 deal with A-Rod. And let's relate straight on to Kid. Like I say, I promised I would take you as far as I possibly could, but I love you as a person, but I wanted to play and at least try to win this game, and if you were sat next to me I wouldn't have been able to do that. I hope you can respect that. And I've already answered what I need to say about Cocotails. I just hope you guys respect the fact is that I might have played a subtle game, but I was willing to make probably the biggest move of the season when me, DYM, and Mark were going to go to Rocks at 6. Obviously that didn't work out the way we was planning for it, but I just hope you guys can respect the fact that I played the game the way I wanted to play it, and the words that I gave to people, I never broke. Thank you.
Sam?
Okay, yeah, I think I have played the game exactly how I needed to get here. I'm very happy with the way I've played the game. And, yeah, I think I played it as I wanted to. As I said, I wanted to play similarly to Nelly Anderson. I think I did accomplish that very well. Yeah, I just hope that you guys can vote based on, you know, this alone tonight and not anything outside the game, I guess. But yeah, thank you all for this opportunity to play the game, and thanks you guys for getting me here, and also a lot of you. I couldn't have done it without you, honestly.
Alright. Well, on that note, it is time to vote. Bobby, you're up.
If Sam made it that far, I would vote for him. And that is the case today, as I am going to be voting for Sam, simply because I kept him in the game, and he was a good ally, good friend, and I think he deserves to win.
This final tribal council kind of reminds me of the Samoa one. Mick, aka A-Rod, the one who will probably get no votes, hopefully will get no votes. We have Sugar, the Natalie White, who's played Coattails, Under the Radar, great social game, should win. And then we have Simply Sam, aka Russell Hance, who played a very aggressive, deceptive, lying, manipulative game, and does not deserve my vote. So my vote is for Sugar, and I'm really hoping that he wins. If Sam wins, I'm going to be Depresso, Ravioli Depresso.
I definitely think Sugar deserves my vote, especially since Sam is a massive scumbag and traitor, and A-Rod just sat there and did absolutely nothing.
Alright, what's up? It's your man here, back. Voted out last time. I was originally going to go to Sugar or A-Rod, but after a lot of, I guess, reimagining, being reevaluated on Sam's whole situation, I believe that he was definitely in the fiercest condition throughout the entire thing and deserves a vote overall.
Alright, I'll go tally the votes for one last time.